I'm going to be talking with Corlette Beauchamp. But you know what is, I am not used to calling her that. So I'm going to tell you what we all call her around St. John Baptist Church. And that is Corky. Welcome, Corky.
Thank you.
Tell us about your mom.
Okay, Marcelina Roberts Williams, my mother. She was a faithful member at Greater St. John Missionary Baptist Church. She joined St. John Baptist Church in 1936 under the leadership of Pastor C.J. Seabury, and she remained a faithful member under R.B. Alexander, Reverend Bernard L. White, Reverend Jimmy Jones, Reverend William Clerk, and our current pastor, Andre A. McGee.
Okay, tell me this. Where did she migrate from, coming this way to South Bend? Tell us just a little bit about her background, her family.
She came from Lansing, Michigan, but she was born here in Indiana, Muncie, Indiana. But they stopped here, migrated here for a little bit, and moved on to Michigan. Okay. And her older sister was living here once after she graduated from high school, so she came and stayed with her. And then my aunt and her children went back to Michigan, but my mom stayed.
Okay. All right, so how many children did your mom have?
Two.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? And I remember your brother just a little bit. But listen, after being here, coming in 1936, what all did she do?
Well, through the years, she wore many hats. She was a choir member. She joined the junior choir, following with the gospel chorus and senior choir. She was a chairman of the housing committee, locating housing for convention delegate. While here in South Bend, I remember delegates sleeping at our house. And the reason why they did that was it wasn't very favorable for black people to go to the hotels. So if you remember, there was Piggy's Hotel right next to the church.
Yes.
That was the black church. Black, not church, but the black hotel.
Mm-hmm.
She was also chairman of the, okay, I did that. I remember she attended all the conventions through the 1980s. She was a BYPU president, now known as BTU, Baptist Training Union. She typed various documents for Leno Jennings, the president of the usher board. Also, assistant church clerk under Deacon Robert Henry, who was the church clerk at the time. After Deacon Henry retired, she held that position of church clerk for 42 years. We attended both 8 and 11 o'clock service. And when I say we, that was my brother and she and I. She counted money with the trustees after both services. As church clerk, my mom also attended every funeral held at Greater St. John Missionary Baptist Church. She met with the families in their homes to help make funeral arrangements. She read the obituary cards and resolution. Her other duties as church clerk were to write the names of prospective new members, gather more information after they were accepted into the church family. My mother started one tradition that we, or some of you, may recognize. At the end of each of the announcements, she gave the thought of the day. She said Deacon Henry was a talker, and she wasn't. So she came up with the thought of the day at the end of the reading the announcements. She assisted with the fall festival, the fun fair, and vacation Bible school. She was on the bowling team. Her team won quite a few games. In fact, I have some trophies. I'll show you one of the trophies. She also received a plaque of 4 generations in the church. She attended Sunday school. She also belonged to Circle number 5. And she was one of the Golden Girls. She received a nickname in the early years. She walked, or I say we walked, to church with 2 young children and told we didn't have a car, so we walked to church, the 3 of us, and we would be the very first ones at the church. And I mean the very first ones, waiting for someone to come and open the door. And now we walk and we wait for someone to come open the door. And this was every Sunday. And they had cars. Some nights my brother and I had to go to bed, and she would go back to night service or some program going on. The streets would be dark because of absence of street lights. You know, on this side of town, probably all over, I don't know, they didn't have that many street lights. So she carried a flashlight to light her path to church and back home. This gained the nickname Flashlight. They started calling her Flashlight.
Oh my goodness.
My mom was the longest living member of Greater St. John Missionary Baptist Church until she passed away 2017 at the age of 102. And she was a member for 81 years.
Oh my goodness. That is just wonderful. Flashlight. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? A floodlight. I could see a flashlight. That's how dedicated your mom was to the church and everything going on in the church. I remember her oh so well. But with all that said, why are you still here?
Well, I guess looking at what she did, it rubbed off on me.
So what are some of the things that you do?
Just, you know, I had left for a little while, and when I came back, I just fell right back in line with, just like, you know, I had always done stuff. I kind of jokingly say that I was a member before I was born. That's how much she was here. Well, and I am Corlette Beauchamp. In my early years at Greater St. John, I sang in the children's choir and the youth choir. Went to Sunday school. I had different positions. Brother Aaron Wright, the superintendent of Sunday school at that time, asked me to teach the age group of 18 to 25. And I was also an assistant to Deacon Lewis Boyden. I later became secretary for class number 11. I was also supervisor for a year over the activities for Sunday school, such as plays, like the Easter plays we used to have. Made a lot of the props. Also changing the bulletin for the Sunday school. We go out in the vestibule on the other side. You would see some of the things that I've put up. Director of the youth division of the BTU. It grew from 10 members to 30 members.
Wow.
And for a short period, I worked with Sister Gwen and Brother Laws with a drill team. And also working with the help of Sister Linda Johnson and others, we came up with the Fall Festival. And it grew to 300 people. And that lasted for 7 years. Then I moved on, and I ended up doing as much as my mom. I didn't realize I had done as much until I started writing stuff down. I worked with the Vacation Bible School. As a young person, I attended, and as an adult, I worked it under Sister Dorothy Miller. Later became the head of the craft part after she moved on. Reverend Clerk had asked me to give out pamphlets to our visitors. And after a while, we started having so many visitors that I needed help. And I thank the ushers for helping me with the visitors that popped up all on different sides of the church. So I got a committee, and on our committee was Sister Bobby Chase, Sister Jewel Levy, Sister Kathy Smith, and Sheila Holmes for a while. And we became the welcoming committee. I also helped with the 90th anniversary creating collage memories from the past. They were on the Sunday school bulletin. I was always curious about the sound room, so I started working in there, and I hope I was helpful. I liked working with all of the Kennys.
Oh, okay.
There were 3 Kennys. And there was Brother Keys and Sister Joy Carpenter. And learning how to work all that stuff in there, it was interesting. Since I was no longer working with the Fall Festival, we started the fun fair. That was a very short period, and that where the tent service was involved, sprung up from that. And along with the tent service was picnic. So everything I've done in the church, it was for God. I enjoy doing and hope others got some enjoyment from it. And what God got for me in the future, I don't know, but I know I will enjoy it.
That is wonderful. But you know what? You left out one thing, and I didn't know you had anything to do with this.
What's that?
And that was planting the flowers outside as you come into the entrance off of Liston.
I do so much that
off of Adams Street. Yeah.
Right.
Because I kept saying, who planted these flowers? Who did? And they said, you know, Corky did that. I said, she did. I said, I didn't know that. But it was just beautiful. Yeah. So you are truly, truly following in your mom's footsteps. You are a very, very busy lady, busy member of the church. And we are so glad that you are still part of the church.
Well, I enjoy doing whatever I decide to do. I enjoy doing it. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm doing it for God. And if anybody enjoys what I do, I'm glad about that.
Well, amen to that. Well, listen, that's going to conclude our spotlight today. But I got to tell you, we got a whole lot of more spotlights coming. And I don't want you to miss any of them. So thank you for joining in with us today. Have a great week.